way down in Georgia, there lives a strange collection of people. But the tie that binds them is Wrassle Match. And they love to sit around and talk about it. And that's what they fixing to do. Georgia Wrestling History proudly presents the Wrassle Men, a Whoopcast. We got Shane, Brian, Bill, and two Matts. We got a grandpa too, and old Foot and Shard. Yes, you know they finna get right. It's the Wrassle Men. They talk about wrestling. Trumpy Bear presents the Wrassle Men, a Whoopcast. Hey, guys and gals, this is going to be the really good or really bad because you have a room full of wrestle people, and we're just going to talk. That's what we're going to do. We're going to have a loose. You can't imagine how loose I mean right now. A loose agenda to talk about some topic. And I'm going to put the over-under on 3 minutes of how much time we spend on that actual topic. But we're going to see what happens. And guess what? It's going to be better than anything else you bums have been listening to. Jesus Christ. How many times can you tell Steve Austin tell that stupid Ringmaster story? Fuckers love that so much.
Never enough.
And don't even get me started on Larry Goodman.
Say that.
But I'm Matt Hankins. You knew that. I'm on here all the time. Anytime somebody stubs their fucking toe or gets sick or something, I'm the guy they call. They've made the mistake now of letting me do whatever I want to. I don't have any governors now, so I'm going to say a lot of stuff. So I'm going to warn you up front. We're going to try to keep this to a healthy PG-13, which means... Well, that like, I get one. Now I've got two, so thank you.
NC-17?
Thanks, Foot, for the terrible rating already. But basically that means I won't say the N-word every other word, as I do in my real life. So, I'm Matt. That's Brian. That's Shane. Y'all can't see me pointing at these people, but they're here. My hand to God, they're here.
I promise you right
that's
here.
Foot. She's the lone female. She will represent 100% of the Me Too movement on this podcast. She is it.
I might get 10.
And then there's Bill, who will help significantly. So we're gonna try to get into a topic. I don't know. We're gonna see what happens. So guys and Foot, I am relatively new, as most people are right now, even though they pretend not to be, to New Japan. I started watching somewhere around whatever the Wrestle Kingdom was, where they main evented with the IC title that Nakamura had versus Tanahashi.
With the crown.
It was the first time I laid eyes on Nakamura, and I fell on the floor, and I felt like all my dreams had come true, because Japanese Prince had shown up.
I think it's 2015.
You're drunk.
I also am that.
You're drunk and you might be accurate. And it has been our tradition that when the times lined up, we would listen to this very network. We would listen to Tipping Point, do the Georgia Wrestling Awards, and watch Wrestle Kingdom. But at any rate, I am baffled by their faction structure. It confuses the hell out of me. People seem to just kind of come out together when they want to. The Bullet Club seems to now be... You are terrible at this. What did I tell you in the production meeting? You will speak when you are spoken to. Time is not up yet.
It ain't supper time.
We are barely 2 minutes in.
I'm trying to do what we call a lead up. But I'm baffled by this thing. So, we're going to pick that, and I just say that as a loose umbrella over how we came to this. But if I was in a New Japan faction, I would have to be in Suzuki Gun. Because That's my best path to not getting slapped. I ain't finna get slapped by Minoru Suzuki.
I don't think that's the case.
Brian, but okay. So definitely, if I'm not in Suzuki Gun, there is a 95% certainty that I'm gonna get something slapped out of me
I think
by
it's
Suzuki.
I think it's 60-30.
Oh my God! You telling me that
64.
if I'm not so you're telling me that if I put up with that singing dude, that crazy guy with the glove hand, Hiroshima Kruger, if I put up with him,
Crazy old dude.
that dude who I don't know, and Taka, I still got a 30% chance of getting the hell slapped out of me.
Yeah, if you lose.
Oh God!
And
You know what, Brian?
don't forget Desperado. He in there too.
Desperado.
He's good.
Why don't he come to his senses, though, guys? That's what I ask myself every time I see Desperado. Because it feels like, for way too long, he's been riding fences. But at any rate.
I'm still confused. Is he Japanese and with a Mexican gimmick
Or is he Bushi?
Yeah.
I feel like he came over with some CMLL guys and they forgot it.
They went home.
Yeah.
He lost his
Home Alone
passport.
in Japan.
Like his bags is packed away from the good people.
Thank you for joining us for a Dojo Around, featuring a Desperado.
Okamura went over there and then on the way back he slapped his wife and said, "We left Desperado."
So, Brian, you wouldn't join Suzuki Gun for fear, just because you think you're going to slap regardless.
Yeah. I mean, if it's a chance to get slapped either way, might as well be against
So
him.
where would you go? I know where you're going to go. Where would you go?
L.I.J. Well.
Of course.
Who else? They're so cool, man.
They are pretty cool.
They're cool. They're crisp in the ring. And then there's Naito.
But that is the problem with LIJ. It is just Naito and the backing band, right?
I always feel like there are a weird split in there where like there's a trio of Evil, Sonata, and Bushi,
Yeah.
and then Naito and Time Bomb.
Or Takahashi.
Yeah, and then I mean occasionally they cross, but like
So we don't get confused with Chris now?
Yes, exactly. So nobody thinks Chris Nelms is in New Japan. I've seen Takahashi take a suplex. It's great.
Saw that one back.
But I feel like they're friends of friends, not
I do too.
one unified.
And it's,
I feel like Naito and Japanese Rhino don't necessarily bond.
or if he tries to, Naito's just like, what the
Why are you
What
dressed
are
like a
you-
Halloween
What are
Jim
you
Reaper?
doing? Where did you even find that dumb toy? And why don't you use it? You've never used it once.
That is the thing. Like, that big Death Cypher, especially the new one he got, and I'm like,
It looks good now.
it looks sturdy. It
used to
looks
look
like
chintzy.
it's
It looks
used.
less Party City now.
Yeah.
It looks like it's usable.
Yeah.
Try to cut, take some
How,
of it off.
but that is true. When Evil comes out and that fucking light hits him and all his accoutrement
And his
is
grill?
glittering. Yes.
It's so weird.
Can't see.
I don't know. Sonata looks like
Old Sonata, new Sonata.
new Sonata.
New Sonata's dope.
Just looks like a
Cold
white
Skull
dude they
Steve Austin.
painted.
Say that again, Bill.
Cold Skull Steve Austin.
But he has, for me, he looks nothing like a Japanese person. He's just a painted white guy who's fucking hope. It's the Soul Man 2 the Orient. I can't wait for somebody to make that impotent joke in Japanese. I wonder how that translates.
Him and Okada are crossing borders.
I'm a sore man. Well, Shane, you've been watching Japanese wrestling a lot longer than I have because you were my reference point for like you got to explain this fucking faction shit to me because I'm watching like Nakamura and Okada are in the same faction. Like you could have. How do I know that? I've never seen them together.
It's weird because it's hard to explain, really. I've been watching it for a long time, too, and I've seen a lot of factions come and go, but if you don't pay attention, you'll never know. Like yourself, you said, if you didn't know that Okada and Nakamura were on the same squad, you would have thought they just should be wrestling each other.
Yeah, and what confuses me is if Nakamura was in my gang, I wouldn't go anywhere without him. He would just be, hey, you got a singles match. I think you meant we got a singles match? Because Nakamura is going to be out here with me. crown and all. So which one would you be in? This I'm very interested to find out.
Oh, fuck.
I'm going to give you two options. I'm going to give you a current faction, or since you know a lot more than the rest of us do, I'm going to let you pick a historical faction if that is your preference.
If I had to pick an historical faction, it'd be NWO Japan.
Oh.
Mostly because
we'll go anywhere with Masahiro Chono. Fucking Chono wears a black on black NWO hat, and I think that's the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life. And refuses to too sweet anybody.
Right.
Oh no.
If you can,
I know sweet.
If you can tolerate Japanese Sting, NWO Japan's fine.
Wait a minute, there's a Japanese Sting?
Well, he wasn't. It was the fake Sting who went to Japan.
Is his name Stringed?
I wish. No, back in WCW, remember the fake Sting in WCW?
Yeah.
He went to Japan and part of that faction.
Oh my god.
As fake Sting?
As fake Sting, yes.
Well, what did
Was
they
that
do
his
him at?
real name?
He was fucking NWO Sting.
That's so great.
God.
That's so great. I'm looking at the Wikipedia page for...
Because we do all research.
Yeah,
here.
we're super in-depth.
So professional.
And the Road Warriors is a faction that was in New Japan. And I was confused with, like, what? And then I looked at the name. So you got Hawk and Animal, Paul Ellering, naturally, Heidenreich, because I guess if you got put as a Road Warrior in the United States, you automatically got membership. Brian Adams, Draws, may his legs rest in
When the hell was
peace.
Brian Adams a Road Warrior?
Well, he looks the part.
But no. When the hell was Brian Adams a Road Warrior?
Let's look it up.
I don't know.
When was Christy Hemme a road warrior?
That's what we was getting to.
Sorry, that's not Nina's?
No, I was curious too, but you sounded condescending with that.
Yeah, of course I did.
And what was she doing? Was
What
she painted up?
Was it during the time of Heidenreich shit?
That would make sense.
No? Because when it was Heidenreich, it was...
I know it
Him
was
and
Heidenreich.
Adam.
You sure she wasn't a manager?
Was she there?
Also, building off of that, just for current events with Mickey Knuckles, I'll go ahead and say that they're my faction too.
The Road Warriors?
Yeah. Yeah, you should have saw some of the shit
Okay,
they did.
I'd watch Foot be a Road Warrior.
This, especially with the spikes on my gear now.
I can't wait for you to claim somebody stole that from you.
Oh my god! You know what?
And they made a video of it.
You know what? You know what?
Hey, that was stolen.
Oh my God! Brian seconded her. Wow.
Yes.
All right, Bill, we come to you.
Well, I think I have to be in the Bullet Club, right?
You have to be in the Bullet Club because there's no other place for you to go.
Yeah.
Because that's where all the white boys lined up. Which is my dream. Just get them all in one place so as I can watch them. I can see what they're up to. I can make sure they're not sneaking up on me. That's what I want in my life. Also, the start of the match here, if the heel is going to jump the baby, we'll say, okay, we'll Pearl Harbor you. What do they say over there?
Pearl Hiroshima.
Sabada, a Tokyo walk and talk, a Nagasaki. All right. So on the opposite side of that, and this is from Japan, anywhere in wrestling right now. Who would you not want to be in a faction? What faction do you hate the most? And please tell, because clearly I'm going last because I'm going to talk a lot. And to everybody in this room, it is painfully obvious what I'm going to pick. Foot, ladies first.
God damn it!
Seems unnecessary.
You know what?
Accurate
If
flip.
I ever get anywhere, please don't take this for evidence. But honestly,
It's out there.
It's being recorded. Of course
Either
it's
Riot
evidence.
Squad or Bullet Club. It's just overrated to me right now.
Well, I don't think the Riot Squad is rated at all.
No, Riot Squad is overrated right now because it's the B squad of the page-led, like...
She's not wrong.
That's not the Riot Squad.
No,
she's saying that
They are the B
Page's
Squad
squad is
to
the A squad.
Pages,
okay.
whatever the name of that thing is.
Right
Yeah,
Squad is
it
the
is.
also.
And yeah, it's I understand and I love Loveless. I love watching Loveless, but like it's just Heidi Lovelace. Oh, what is her?
Ruby Riott.
I know Ruby Riott.
Yeah.
That's
She's on SmackDown.
Yeah, that's her name.
She sounded like
Fucking
McGinnis.
Loveless, and
Big
I
time
love
Love.
watching her. But like at the same time, I feel like WWE is pigeonholing her into this type of stereotype almost. They want her to be the new Paige, and I don't.
Well, they need one because the other
They
one is
do.
fucking broken.
They're not like Matt Hardy.
She's bad broken. She's bad broken.
And then, before everything, I love Paige. I was down for the gimmick, man.
I'm sure you were.
Just,
I bet
you know
were.
I
A lot of
was.
gimmicks.
I was
Yeah.
sitting here
All
ready
the
to like
gimmicks.
put on my black lipstick, get with it, just. But
I think you
Yeah,
talked
no.
enough.
Yeah. Okay.
I think you're done.
okay,
We'll come back to
we're moving
it.
on.
You're going to get us kicked off the air. Shane?
Oh, fuck. Sorry, I was 3. If I had to think, come back to me because
I don't really mean.
No, I
this
know what you
question
mean. I
as,
just
like.
it's just like a bunch in my head that I can't figure it out. So you'll have to come back.
Brian?
Concrete gorillas.
Oh!
Hey,
Back in the game!
I didn't say that. I had fun.
Say, bro, I heard you on that radio the other day. You said you didn't want to beat a gorilla.
He actually had an argument with you. That's a real life argument. I'm gonna say probably the worst faction I saw on TV. They had a lot of promise. Was Aces and Eights.
Oh, God, that's great.
I mean, it was, and it's like TNA didn't even try. It's like
they hot-shotted to the point of the bad NWO. How many people can we put into this immediately?
It started with what, maybe 3 or 4 guys. And
Yeah.
every week or every episode or whatever, it seemed like they added 2.
And I could
not one
name
person,
you,
2 people.
I could not tell you. I know there was Bubba Ray,
and Devon.
Devon and Taz, Eric Bischoff's son,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that dude who was
Gerald Briscoe's son.
Briscoe.
Yeah. What is it? What is his name?
Wes Briscoe.
Wes
Wes
Briscoe.
Briscoe.
Who the perpetually signed somewhere Wes Briscoe. Always signed, never seen Wes Briscoe. And I could not tell you anybody past that. But
Ken Anderson.
Doc Gallows.
Doc Gallows. Yes.
And Mike Knox.
Yep.
Bill.
Bill's
Nope.
ready.
We're not doing this.
I will say I did like Mike Knox in that role because that seemed to
It
fit
fit.
his person.
It fit him personally.
But the-
Not when he was a tax return guy in all black with a beard. Who does that sound like?
I can't wait for the return of Wild Man. Wild Man Mike Knox. I can't wait for him to come back. I'm going to be so happy. Well, I'm going to give Shane time to think because he is the smartest of us all.
My thing with Aces, like, I never watched TNA, so I never actually saw them.
Yeah.
All I ever heard was, this guy's so good in it, but no one ever liked them as a unit. Like, everyone liked Bully.
Yeah.
I heard
Well, that
about
was-
Doc.
And D'Lo.
D'Lo
Somehow
was in it?
D'Lo got pigeonholed in that.
He
match.
did.
D'Lo was in there.
Let me take this minute
I'm gonna watch D'Lo
To
Brown
talk-
phone book.
to talk local for a minute. The Bull Buchanan retirement match
Yeah.
is
Oh,
one of
man.
my favorite things I
Yep.
ever saw in
Yes.
this state because it was done to absolute perfection. And even though I knew what the bit was when they set it up, I did not care by the end. I was like, I don't know, maybe Bull really did get hurt. Maybe something, I mean, you know, he hadn't wrestled in a while. Fucking D'Lo's having to care. Oh my God, Bull's back! He's coming! Bull is coming!
The same thing. Well, the bump he took to get out was so real.
It was so real.
It was scary.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God. It was a good night for that match. Everything else was dog.
No. I have an argument there. Besties, and I don't remember who they went up against. It might have been Colt and someone.
Drew
but-
Adler.
Yeah, it was Colt and
Okay,
Drew.
yes,
against
yes,
Besties.
I don't
you're right.
remember
They
that.
were
I
great.
don't know. I don't know how you remember that because I can't get over. There was a really black dude sitting across from us in the crowd. I looked at him most of the night because he was black as
C-Dog.
night. It was
It was
C-Dog.
C-Dog.
It was C-Dog. And I don't think I knew him at the time. I was like, and then Rachel was like, wait a minute, is that the dude who was in the shadows? And then Bill was there somewhere, and
And technically he wasn't in the
I don't think I
shadows.
knew you yet,
He was
though.
just there.
We didn't. We might have brushed up against
Yeah,
each
I
other at
remember
Peach State.
the first time I remember talking to you is at Monstrosity.
I'm sorry. That was a conversation you should have avoided because look how you've been dragged down since that day. Your stock has plummeted, my friend. Look at this, the ruffians you run with.
It's true.
So what would you not want to be in?
Honestly, like, it always goes bad.
It does.
It almost always goes awful.
Yeah.
DX ruined my life when I was like, I don't know, young.
That's my new
Like-
favorite story. DX ruined my
they-
life.
I mean, they broke them up, and I stopped watching that WrestleMania.
Was 15?
Yeah, they did the double turn where it looked like China joined them back. But
Yeah.
it was just for Triple H to
Yes.
leave with
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
was really after the fact, like today, that was really well done.
Mm-hmm.
But at the moment, like, I literally got up and walked away.
Okay, let us do what we call in the business.
I was supposed to be there
Oh, that hurts.
because that was in Philly,
Oh, that hurts.
so that really hurt my eyes.
I don't know, y'all motherfuckers burnt the town down that night, I'm sure.
I wanted to. I don't care how old I was.
Let us pivot for a moment. We will come back to get Shane's faction. But who else has a moment where wrestling, like, really broke your heart? Like, it really got you. And you're like, okay, I'm either going to stop watching this. And I don't mean, like, your career. I don't mean, like, you showed up late to ROH because Marco got you there late. I don't mean that kind of thing.
What are you talking about?
I don't mean that you
No, it's
spilled
me too.
water. I don't mean you spilled water in your entrance and one of War Machine slipped. I don't mean that kind of moment. I mean, like, kayfabe, it got you, and you just couldn't. I'll tell you mine is, it was when when Shawn Michaels came back, and he was feuding with Triple H, and they did that thing on Raw where they're fighting for the title, and whatever the finish was, and the Shawn falls down backwards
The
onto
double
Triple
pin?
H. They count the three, and I'm like, oh yeah!
I
The
just
double
recently
pin.
watched
Double
that.
pin. And I was too old for this to have gotten me.
You
like
was.
this. I just want to point that out.
This
Before
wasn't
anybody
that
says,
long
wait a
ago."
minute, that was like last year. No, I was too old for that to have affected me the way it is. Like, I don't know if I can do this anymore, guys. I am hurt.
There was a Shawn hometown, wasn't it? It was the same.
Yes, I think it
There
was.
I
It
just
was,
watched it.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't ever want to see this again. I might be done with wrestling. Foot. Is it when?
It was WrestleMania last year. You know what it is.
Was it when Brandy Rhodes came out at Wrestle Kingdom and we made fun of her?
Oh my god. Y'all
What
have
kind of
tried
bundles
to.
did
That Malaysian bundle was on fleek.
Look, it was on fleek.
God damn it! If I had that hair.
But it was last year, WrestleMania, and I had friends who had
I think
the freshest of bushes. The freshest of bushes. And I messed up, and I was just like, I'm going to play in these bushes.
Is she talking about your family, Brian? Those the bushes? We're gonna come back to Foot, Brian.
I was trying to use euphemisms.
I don't know.
Do we not use euphemisms?
No, I wanted a kayfabe story. I wanted little Nina crying because Mount Fiji got pinned.
Oh, no,
is what I wanted.
No, I cried. I
What was
almost
the
had a
moment?
fight because Undertaker went under, and I almost fought.
Oh.
I literally almost.
You buried
fought.
the lead pretty deep on that, but now we can come back to that because that gets us to the story we all want to tell.
And you still sound upset
Look,
about it.
I
We
am.
need to say that needs to be an episode on its own.
The second
You know what?
version.
Shard
When
needs to
Sharp
come in
was
on
here,
this
that's when
episode.
y'all should both be here talking about that story.
Oh my god! It just
Really?
I was in the freshest of bushes, and I just
I don't know what that
couldn't.
means.
It couldn't.
Don't know what that means.
Where were you?
I was hot.
There's the first inbound, ladies and gentlemen.
It was not me.
It really like could
It
not
really messes
break
you.
my barrier of reality that this is something that happened, and I I watched with everybody as he went under, and I just was like,
Well,
I
apparently we was playing
can't.
Spider-Man.
You know what?
Wow, I never knew that.
I'm
Foot.
hurt at this moment.
Thank God you were not here. Because it would have been
It was
tag
that
team turmoil.
worse.
I'm
yeah.
hurt all over.
I bet I know Brian's.
What?
Edge came out and he said he had
No.
a boo-boo?
It didn't. It wasn't. It was actually Eddie. Between Eddie and then Benoit, because I was in our first year of college.
Yeah.
I was when Eddie died. And I just had got a lot of text messages, but I was in class, and I was like, what the hell is everybody texting me for? And like, hey man, you heard the news, Eddie dead. And I'm like,
Eddie, my cousin?
yeah, I'm like,
He stay fucking up. I ain't surprised.
Eddie at work? Ooh. And then it was like Guerrero, and I'm like, what?
Well, now y'all quit playing, y'all.
I'm
That's
like-
not funny.
I didn't believe him, and this was like, 3 and 4 in the afternoon. And so I went to the computer lab. I'm like, stories kept popping. I'm like, no, this can't be real. And then Raw came on. I was like, man. And then they played that package with 3 Doors Down, and I was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you right now,
That fucking
Batista crying is the worst thing I've ever seen. And I don't mean to make, I mean, like, it's just, it's
no.
heartbreaking.
It'll make you
But to this day,
They ruined 3 Doors Down for me.
well, Brian, to be fair,
That
it
goes- that goes without-
was it
didn't
Krypton?
take a lot.
Okay, come on. They only had 2 good songs.
Oh.
And
once you
WWE
get,
used
once
both
you
of
get
them
past
for the
Kryptonite,
thing.
you're done.
It wasn't Kryptonite. It was
I know which
Something
one it
about
is.
Girls.
I'm
I
just
don't
saying.
remember. I don't like them, so I don't really. But I know the song.
Yeah, whenever it come on, you just tear up like, man, fuck you.
Right.
To this day, me and EJ, my brother, who we have watched wrestling together on the phone from 60 to 200 miles away from each other for the past 15 years. And we will still, from time to time, just like, hey man, there's one thing about Eddie Guerrero. He always came through with that Bible verse. Because that was I think Batista said during that thing, like, how you be feeling down, Eddie, come through with that Bible verse. So if we see somebody having a rough time in wrestling, it usually goes to, man, I wish Eddie'd come through with that verse for Bray. Bill, what broke your soul?
Most of mine involve Triple H, honestly. No, because when DX started, that was my thing. Like in Attitude Era,
How old were you?
I started watching it again when I was in 9th grade, which was 96.
Sure.
And then, I mean, like from then on.
Yeah, okay.
Until, actually, I mean, I took about a 4-year
Which
break.
9th grade is the perfect time for DX.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the whole thing is built on.
Right. And I took a 4-year break somewhere around 2009, I think. But, yeah, so Generation X is what really grabbed me. I mean, Austin was cool,
Yeah.
but he wasn't my number one.
You know, the thing about Austin was, he was like himself, but turned up to 11.
Yeah.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear. I hear that a lot.
I heard he had to do it 'cause- well, because, you know, they kept sending in
Wait,
those
what?
gimmicks, so they called Bill.
Wait, what?
Please continue.
So, Degenerate and Undertaker, because I was a goth kid. But so when DX split up, I have pictures of makeup and hair. It's a whole thing. I don't.
I think we got to know that.
Not the least bit shy about
Oh,
it.
you shouldn't be. It just is a surprise.
So when Degeneration X split up, I was like the one guy that went with Triple H. I went to a live show.
You know, guys, I think he's got a lot of points.
No shit. I brought a sign to a live show that said Triple H, he made DX, he was DX, and he broke DX.
You took the time.
I made a goddamn catchphrase. And the assumption was that he was going to see it, know how great it was, and then use it.
You know what I learned down in Florida?
The other event that I really remember is he had been injured. I don't know. He hurt his knee,
Yeah.
and he was on the brackets for a King of the Ring, and so I was like, oh shit, he's coming back. And they played his music, and then the Stooges walked out. And I remember because at that time,
That is a great story.
the WWE website had a feedback option, and I immediately, and the subject line was "Bitch,
Let
you
me
done
talk to your
fucked
man.
up."
I'm sorry, I stepped on that line, Bill. Please tell me what the subject was again.
Bitch, you done fucked up.
Thank you.
And then proceeded to just lay in about how stupid they were.
Dear Vince, clackety, 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 clack, I find your use. Clackety, clackety, clackety.
Yeah. The other one that was like a little, I would say, more seasoned was when they retired Lita. Just because I thought she
Yeah.
she did so much, and you know, yeah, she had a shitty last run, but like they turned her out. Like they just fucking.
Wow.
She had that
That's
sex.
a term. It's a term.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know
they
what
don't.
I'm
He's
saying?
right. You know what?
The accurate
remember what
term,
they
she
did?
had a live sex
Yeah.
They did
celebration.
that, but the Prime Time
No.
came out and emptied her giant box.
The promo.
Oh, no, I don't remember this.
Yeah. And they just, it was a bunch of sex toys and stupid Vince jokes.
Goddamn, party,
Yeah. And then
yeah.
it was just, they just shit on her and then that was it.
Yeah.
Huh.
She didn't have a retirement match. She didn't have a
Yeah, you're
goodbye.
right. That's why I don't
Well,
remember
she
it.
did have a goodbye. She was starting to say goodbye.
Yeah, and then they
interrupted
came
it.
out.
That was the thing.
With the big
Ah,
box.
yeah.
I mean, I know you can argue she was a heel at the time.
Yeah.
But still.
Still,
I mean, that's never stopped her before.
They've certainly
Yeah.
broken that barrier before. Yeah, set her out, boys.
Yeah.
Set her out, yeah.
So that was one of those where, like,
Put her on the host roll, yeah.
I didn't even get sad. I just kind of.
That would make you like,
nah,
this is
nah.
kind of.
Yeah, I
Well,
just kind of walked away
The
from it.
Piggy James was the same way for me. Like,
I wasn't watching that.
like,
That was right when I stopped watching.
First of all, we're not going to stop and appreciate
Wasn't they doing the Big Star campaign then too?
Yeah.
Like that's when it just begun.
Like it had just kicked off.
and I was like, wait, but
Which I'll say this, they did pay that off fairly well.
Probably.
It was here. I think it was at Royal Rumble when Edge came back. I think that's the show that it was. But they had, it was Leku, right? That's who she was feuding with.
Yeah.
They were just giving her hell in the
man.
pig suit and all that. And they came out and they're just giving her the business
Talk about that.
that night.
He walked away. He can't even walk. He can't even talk about this.
This
He walked
podcast brought
away.
to you by 3 Doors Down. Kryptonite. But Nikki
need it
comes
more.
out, she gets like one of those flash 5-second wins. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
that's
You're right.
And like they did it so well that you could feel it as soon as Mickey's music hit. Like, I think she's just gonna come in here and beat the shit out of them, roll them up and pin them. And sure enough,
That's what
Shane,
happened.
when did this cruel mistress of ours kick you in the groin?
It's probably two moments. One was Owen.
One was the time
Cool.
you pushed your longtime manager and friend in the face.
No, that wasn't it.
Should have been.
No, I was okay with that. No, I think I have three. One was Owen.
See, you had to add that one.
One was Owen because I remember the night it happened. I wasn't watching the pay-per-view, but we were.
I was. God, that was
But
weird.
but
I
me and my,
missed it too.
but for some reason, me and my boys were watching a really crappy biopic by Jesse Ventura.
Did that make you walk away from wrestling?
Almost, because it was so terrible, but it was good. And
Well, Pearl Harbor was an inside job.
It's my rules or the highway. That's not what that phrase
It's
is.
thermite paint. That's what brought down the towers.
and
Jam watch.
and the news said Owen Hart died. So we're like,
Huh?
no.
Did the news get worked?
No. So the next night on Raw, the whole big Owen Hart tribute, and I was like, I'm just sitting there heartbroken. Like, oh, this really happened because I really like Owen.
See what he did there.
That's
So, and the second thing, same as Brian, was Eddie. Eddie tore me up. 'Cause
I could imagine. Yeah, certainly. Yeah, clearly.
And because I've never sat quietly at a wrestling show, watching a wrestling show more than after watching that Eddie tribute. And it literally brought a tear to my eye watching that whole day.
Tears in his eyes.
It really
Was that the
is
one where
song,
Kane
though.
took his mask off? Like he was talking
It
about
was,
it.
it was on Mysterious with his
Mysterio,
mask
and
off.
just like didn't say anything, like just put his shit
Then
down.
while ugly crying, it was
Oh,
just
yeah.
it was hard to watch.
I remember watching
That
Memoir
song
Band.
It
on
was
top of
almost like
But it was so
so
hard.
unstable.
It was just so hard to watch, and probably and the third one is it happened when I got in. I was sitting at a wrestling show. It was me and Hayden Young Patrick. Was sitting there, we were watching the show, recording the show for a buddy of ours, and we're sitting there watching the whole show. And the only good match on that card was Crew Jones versus Jay Fury.
God, I miss Crew.
Oh, don't we? Oh.
But the rest of the show was so horrible. It was so piss poor. Bear in mind, I'm only 8 months in, and I'm looking at my buddy. It's like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is horrible. I don't want to work for them
or anybody.
anywhere else. It got so bad, we like, you know what? This show is so horrible. We're gonna go to the store and grab a couple 40s. And that's exactly what we
You
did.
did from now henceforth, ladies and gentlemen, we will be giving our 40-ounce match of the week. I cannot wait to give out the 40-ounce match of the week. Yeah, it's a cruel, like those shows that they did. Anytime they get a big death and they have to do the tribute show, active roster member, it's absolutely horrible. But I've never turned one of them off.
You're right.
I've watched every one of them because it is the thing of that's the part of it that I was having this conversation last night. A group of us were watching WrestleMania 19, and we're a mixed group. It's people that aren't in the business, people who are in the business, and we're watching Eddie Guerrero, and I'm just leaning over to Matt number 2, and I say, "Fuck, dude, you can't appreciate Eddie Guerrero until you've been in it in some capacity." And I don't mean that as a slight to people who are not in the business. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just like, you have to know a certain thing to look for. It's like any other thing. If you don't play guitar, it's hard to appreciate, some guitar solo that might not be the most fast or the hypest or something. If you're not a painter, you can't appreciate, anything like that. But watching those death shows, you get that appreciation of, holy shit, these dudes are together 4 or 5 nights a week, every night. They're all each other knows. And if you get a good dude in that, it is great. And if you have a bad dude in that, he is the absolute worst. Sometime we're going to just talk about that. Who's the worst guy to be in the locker room with? But yeah, we got to get a faction from you too.
Oh, okay.
I'm keeping this train on track, baby. I am doing it.
You are a conductor. The Oddities. I absolutely. I'm
going to disagree just because you get to come out of that cool ICP song. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I didn't love Everybody Come to the Greatest Song. And you get a Cartman doll.
No.
Was Cartman the most over wrestler in '97?
By far. Look at the signs.
Yeah.
Just look at the signs.
Yeah. I hated the Oddities so much. I couldn't stand them. I felt bad for Luna.
Straight Nine's mother.
Jesus Christ.
Tell me it ain't.
There's no way that she's not Strychnine's mother. There's just no way. I won't believe it.
They sound the same.
Yeah, everything the same. Definitely. Strychnine's mother, Luna Vachon. All right, folks. We're going to take a breaky wake.
Yeah, get yours and come back.
You get nothing from me.
Oh, we don't get yours.
I drive this train. Yes, we're definitely going to talk about who I hate the most. Woo.
That's going to be the whole second half.
When we get back. It's soapbox time on the Wrassle Men.
Well-known rapper MC Search consumes entire Waffle House menu and then stops a robbery. Samoans, black or just kind of. Animal enthusiast wants to teach rats how to read. Local officials say, oh hell no. Man in Black grants wish of a heartbroken kid. Can the kid get up? Stay tuned to WDHB to find out.
And we are back, thanks to our local news coverage, for getting us caught up on all the events that you can hear about. Yeah, so there's that. So we were talking about factions. We talked about who we wanted to be in. We talked about when wrestling broke our hearts. We talked about who we didn't want to be
It's like
in.
we're just kicking our feet right now, just saying that.
Or twiddling a finger, a phone cord around our
You
finger.
know who I had a crush on?
Oh, let's talk
Oh
about
my God.
Let's talk about the cutest boys in ROH.
Wait. I feel like the bullet should be here for that.
Oh,
okay.
I mean, I'm just saying, man. If you want to, his work rate's great. I mean, Roddy. Johnny Gargano. Which leads me to the faction I would not want to be in.
All right, sending boys. It's gonna be a long one.
Fuck Adam Cole.
Yeah, Foot.
Yeah.
Thank
Fuck
you,
that.
Profane Foot.
I saw say my name.
I didn't pull your chain.
Yeah.
The undisputed area, as Nigel McGuinness called them. But the undisputed era is yes, and it was the war game. I think it was at the war game when he said it.
He's the best
Oh
commentator.
my, the undisputed area reigning supreme. I just wish Big Dimo were here so they'd all be in one place. But yeah, that is the one that there's no way that I don't fight everybody in it every day. Don't care if Kyle O'Reilly breaks all my shoulders. I'm gonna fight him every day, except for Bobby the Fish. I feel like the faction would be me talking to Bobby Fish like, can you leave these other two motherfuckers?
And them just rubbing Ben Gay on his shoulder.
Just oh man, it hurts so bad. I just
Keep making me take heat.
First of all, my thighs are not meant to take that kind of slapping. I just couldn't. My hand would always be sore from being in that faction. But what I'm getting at, folks, is I have a disdain for Adam Cole and have for a long, long time, and cannot really tell you why either. I can't tell you why.
I don't know.
There's just something about him that just. I think because I think I blame him for a lot of the things that I don't like about wrestling right now. I think Adam Cole is the forefather of a lot of it. All that PWG stuff that people say, oh, you got to see this thing. I'm like, this is the thing you wanted me to see? I just hate him so much. I just don't like anything about him. I did read a tweet from somebody that I know is going to make Brian Blaze mad. But it said, I'm glad NXT figured out they need to put Adam Cole in gimmick matches because just like Edge, his regular work is not that interesting. And the Edge slam aside, I think that might be part of it. Like he's just good mechanic, gets in there, smooth. But there's just nothing about him that has garnered this crazy attention. Like, please, y'all tell if I'm wrong. I say the same thing about the Beatles. I just can't. I can't get the Beatles. I don't understand
You're not wrong.
it.
Apparently, according to Quincy Jones, you are not wrong.
Quincy Jones said a lot of things that we are not going to talk about. We are definitely not going down that road. But I told a friend of mine who always asks, why don't you like them? I love them. I tell you what, give me 18 songs. You pick them. Pick the hits. Give me 18 Beatles tracks that I can't resist. I will listen to it with an open mind. And I will make a determination off of that. And about 6 songs in, it clicked with me. It's Paul McCartney. Not only is it Paul McCartney, it's Paul McCartney's bass playing. He just won't get out of the way. So I have not had that breakthrough with Adam Cole yet. So I am putting out a challenge to anybody who knows me. Send me the Adam Cole match that will turn me around. And I will watch it without any forethought. I will not go in mad. Bill, you've been recognized.
So my question: why do you think he's where he is?
People love him, and I'm not right. I am clearly wrong in this scenario.
Also, I'll say I had a personal experience with him, and he was very nice. Legitimately, I had a match with him in 2009.
What? Oh, wait a minute!
You haven't heard this?
It was super early. I mean, it was a squash match. Like he was super new in. But he showed up to a show that I was like as a job match to me. And had looked me up on YouTube, knew my spots, had ideas on what to do, and was the nicest guy.
Yeah.
And I saw him,
and you know what?
like 3 or 4 years later at CZW when he was somebody then.
Yeah.
And I wasn't. And he was incredibly nice to me.
Yeah. Out of everything I've ever heard of him, I've heard many stories like that. I heard him on the Austin thing, and he was very knowledgeable, and he talked about a lot of stuff. I'm like, I don't think you do any of that in your matches. You know better. But I don't know what it is. There's just
I
something
think
that
that's
always
what it is. I think it's just he's playing opposite himself, and you can just catch it.
Maybe that's it. Maybe I can just kind of see the like.
He's I ain't gonna say he's real good at being a heel, but he's real good at being not liked.
Yeah, well, it works. Maybe that's it. Maybe he's just so good at his job that I can't get past it.
It's like I remember when he won the ROH title. It was just like, what? And it was straight heel turn immediately. And I'm like, all right, and he just ran with it.
Yeah. But there he is. So I will watch an Adam Cole match. I will try to be open.
John Wheeler, the Bullets, do you hear this?
Oh
God!
And he said 10 matches. Did you know John is compiling a
Clickety,
folder
clackety,
right now? You're gonna get an 8 gig folder tomorrow.
Matches. Say no more.
He's compiling.
Let me give you my personal best of.
Right now, he's just doing forward. Bitch, you done fucked up. So while there are a lot of us here, and you will probably rarely ever hear all of us in one accord on this podcast. There's just too many of us.
I don't think you can handle it.
Yeah, there's too much talking. It will just turn into a bunch of inside jokes, and we're trying. Y'all don't know how many times that every one of us has had to cover our mouth because we had something super inside to say that we know you don't want to hear and wouldn't understand. So just know we're trying. It will get better, but the dynamic would shift too much if all of us were in one accord. But we did put out some feelers to see who their factions that they loved and hated were. I'm going to say for Shard, a.k.a. Big New Weapons, Jeter.
All those. Every bit of it. Every single
I'm going to
one.
say that Shard's number one faction, probably the Shield, wouldn't you guess, Brian?
That's his least favorite.
Okay, so y'all going to die.
Because he's such a Roman Reigns.
Here's something y'all guys might not know about Jeter. He loves Roman Reigns.
He is the biggest fan of the big dog.
When he comes to my house to watch wrestling, he wears a tactical vest.
He still wears that.
He still wears it. It says Big Jeter on it for some reason. I don't know why. But no, seriously, surely that is his least favorite faction. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And his favorite faction has got to be the Ministry. Because if Undertaker did it, lo and behold, it has been ordained to be great. God forbid you should mention Spider-Man. Folks, we will tell you that story at some point as to why anytime we talk about Jeter, Spider-Man comes up. So, I mean, that's not an inside joke. That is what we call a teaser. Matt Myers, who is probably, him and Shane are clearly the smartest among us about wrestling. If I don't know something, if I'm too lazy to Google something,
They know it.
I can just ask one of them and they'll know. Ah, man. And Myers is a little bit older than us, and so he's got his timeline starts before, and he's from a different part of the country than most of y'all are. He and I kind of grew up on the same kind of stuff, but at a different time. So he is a tough one to pick. I'm going to say that he probably... The Birds would have been... Free Birds would have definitely been something he would have liked. Anything involving... Maybe Kevin Sullivan's Florida crazy ass
the
devil
original
group.
Dungeon of Doom?
Yeah, like when Kevin Sullivan was Satan in
Purple
Florida.
haze out of the river?
Yes. I you see this guy I got? I hung a string and I put a can on the string.
That was the exact promo, ladies and gentlemen. That's how it went down.
But Bill, you have the answer to this question.
Yeah. He said his favorite was the Four Horsemen when Wyndham was in it.
Oh, there it is. This is the Barry Windham card.
Yeah.
If Skinner had been in a faction, if it had been Skinner, the Bushwhackers, and I don't know, Bastion Booger, why not? That would have been his favorite faction. Not Skinner. I'm wrong, aren't I? It's the Stalker.
Ooh.
Which one is Wyndham?
He was a stalker.
Okay, yeah, the Stalker. I mean, the Stalker. Put him in that place and not the Skinner, because Skinner was the principal.
You could also go
Put Skinner in the fourth.
Yeah, he's the fourth. Yes, he fits that. And Waylon Mercy. So who would Myers have hated? He's not gonna like he loves Gaga, so that's not gonna get him. He likes he likes good old school. Who do y'all think? Somebody take a guess. Myers probably hated like the Wolfpack.
Bullet Club. No,
Bullet. That's a good. That is a very good guess.
I think he would actually dislike the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Did you say Wolfpack?
No,
Yeah. I think the Wolfpack would have been something he didn't like either.
Yeah, that's it.
Why the Wolfpack?
Oh God, because it
Wrestling
came.
is too cool for wrestling.
Yeah, too cool for wrestling.
Okay.
You don't know
And Bullet
tweeners.
Club is
Yeah.
the same
Yeah,
thing.
Bullet Club. You're right,
And-
Foot. That's a very
And
good guess.
Sting.
Oh, good. Jeter's not here again, right? Because good Lord, somebody said something bad about Sting. I can't believe he didn't appear.
That's why Seth Rollins killed him.
All right, boys.
Oh my
We
God.
watched WrestleMania 19 last night, and Kurt Angle released German Brock into the top turnbuckle, and we all said, "And Sting died off a buckle bomb? What a chump!"
You know Jeter's going to text us before we're done recording.
Somehow he knows.
You're right.
Wait a minute.
There's a disturbance in the goddamn force.
So, who was Myers' least favorite faction?
He had two. He had Evolution. And
Wow.
And then he
Yeah.
had No Limit Soldier.
Wait.
Wow. Yeah, that's a little too black.
I could have swore you
Uh,
said he said No Limit Soldier.
Yeah. For his least favorite.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Man. Well, I don't know why you would find it unbelievable. They were awful.
They were, but
It's a
That's
little
what was
too
hot.
black.
they were also great. I mean, it was 4x4 or 2x4. Which one was it? 2x4,
I blocked them out. So
2x4, and Swole. And
Oh, fuck, I remember Swole. God, why would you bring that back up to me now?
because his name was Swole.
His name was Swole.
They were the only representation we had in WCW at the time.
That's why I stopped watching.
Put them all together.
Master P was there. They wore that cool Dudley Boy camouflage.
They did have the tank too.
They had a tank. Silk the Shocker showed up. That's fucking great.
Off beat somehow.
He was always off beat. I just got a text from Grandpa, who you might know as the reigning and defending referee of the year, Daryl Hall. Undisputed
Peace and
referee of
love
the year, Daryl Hall. He said his favorite faction was Earth, Wind, and Fire. That's who he picked, was Earth, Wind, and Fire. Okay. And reading this, his least was Frankie Beverly and those white guys he ran around with. Frankie Beverly, Jesus Christ. Frankie Valley and those white guys he ran around with.
I think he was right with Frankie.
Frankie Beverly and Maisie also didn't like it. Felt like they sold out. Said he saw them once at the Jingle Jam in Peachtree City at Wolf Creek, and he said they stunk the joint up. All right. We've been silly for some amount of time. If you're still listening to this, God bless you. You're a better person than I would be. Because I would have turned this stuff off as soon as Foot started talking. But judging by the level of her Bushmills bottle, I can tell
It's just empty
Yeah,
now.
that we got to get off here, or else she's going to start DTing in my home and ruin my lovely Alabama rug. So thank you for joining us on the first voyage of the Wrassle Men.
What is DT?
Detoxing. Because you know, Brian,
I don't know what that means either.
that means you.
I don't
We
know
know-
what
we know,
detox
you know.
means.
We're
We got
aware
it.
of this.
We got it.
We are aware
We
of
got
it.
it. Because see, Brian, when a booze hound tried to put that booze down,
She didn't get it.
I know she did. They go, but at any rate, we're going to keep this rolling. We're going to see where it goes. I am sorry, Larry Goodman. You made a terrible mistake, but you've let us in the door, and I've got the passwords, so you can't stop me. So for the rest of the gang, for Foot, Bill, Brian, and Shane, this is Matt, and this is my good friend Tiger Mask. Take us home!
was rushing, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I stay? Will it be but I can't help falling in love with you. Like a river flows surely to the sea, down inside comes something